So Captain America Civil War, a long extended trailer was released for it about a week or two ago.
Yeah, probably about a week ago.
Yeah, it got something like 60 million views in the first 24 hours, which is phenomenal. I mean, there are viral videos that don't do that much.
Yeah.
That are considered viral if they hit like 1 million or something. But yeah, clearly people are really interested in this. And
well, I mean, how many fans did you have? The comic. I mean, come on.
Yeah, really.
Civil War was huge when it came out.
I was gonna say Civil War is one of the most iconic timelines in the Marvel comic universe.
Yeah.
So I don't know too much about it. Even if I did, I wouldn't want to spoil it because I don't know how much they would actually use that itself.
Right. I mean, how can you spoil it at this point? We don't know how much of the actual comic they're using.
Yeah. You can't just maybe they're gonna. Yeah, no. But as far as it goes, it looks pretty awesome.
Obviously they're going to do the unmasking of Spider-Man. We know that.
We know that.
That's got to be in there because they actually got the rights from Sony so that they could use Spider-Man in there, and so obviously, and because that's the biggest plot line in Civil War is Spider-Man deciding, oh hey look, yeah.
Yeah, and they didn't show any of that in the trailer, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they aren't going to actually do that in the movie. And it would make sense for them to do it, not only because that's a major part of the Civil War's timeline that you can't really escape, so that's not really a spoiler there. But you have the news earlier this past year where Sony basically cut a deal with Marvel Studios and said, yeah, we'd like to team up and make lots and lots of money too, so
we seem to be not making money, and you are.
You seem to have the whole money thing figured out. How do you do that? And because of that, they've got these kind of shared rights in a way to have Spider-Man appear in future franchises, which... that means he's probably going to...
And he's going to be in Civil War.
And he's going to be in Civil War.
There's already, been...
There's rumors of him having appeared on the set or on set locations. Or Tom Holland, that is, I should say.
Yeah, Tom Holland. As actually, rumor has it he's already shot his whole part.
Which wouldn't be surprising because they don't need to have, I don't know if they need to have too much. And plus, with the film about a year out... you've got post-editing and special effects and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know if they've wrapped principal photography yet, but if they only have him in there... if they only have him in there for about 10 minutes...
Yeah, I mean, he can't be in there more than that. I mean, after seeing the trailer, it's,
Yeah.
There's way more going on.
Well, yeah, but you don't have to necessarily...
And to try and even give you the full build-up of the Superhero Registration Act and all of that, I mean, you've got... That's a lot of film time.
That's a lot of film time, and there's... Yeah, and you don't necessarily have to have Spider-Man in the entire film to get that point across and to get that kind of action build-up or that kind of intrigue. I mean, that's what the last film had. The Captain America Winter Soldier had this great blend of action and dialogue that didn't feel too much like exposition, but that actually moved the plot forward, and the action wasn't just sort of, as they say, action porn, where we're fighting because we're fighting. The last Avengers, not the last Avengers, the first Avengers movie did have a little bit of what you might call action porn with Thor, Iron Man, and who else was involved in that? Oh yeah, Captain America was involved in that, a little brawl that they're going to be fine at the end, but... Yeah. It was just, we're fighting, so, oh yeah, we like each other, it's fine, okay.
Yeah.
But it had that. But you don't get that sense from the Marvel movies, and with the trailer, it shows, Captain America and Bucky and Iron Man fighting, so you get kind of a glimpse of what's going there, but it doesn't show you any kind of resolution that things are going to be okay.
Yeah.
In fact, it builds up and shows a much darker possibility where, hey, they aren't going to be all fine and get along and be the happy little Avenger team that you knew and love.
Iron Man getting beaten senseless at the end of the trailer. I mean,
you've
got, I think, I think that you're going to end up with kind of an almost unresolution at the end of this.
Well, yeah.
I don't think because you really can't. You can't have the full resolution. You'll have, okay, that's the end of this part,
Yeah, well, they're building
But-
also to the whole Avengers Infinity War thing,
Right,
so it's going to have
you've
some
got to build
time.
up to the Infinity War, so you've got to have some kind of wrap up to it. But at the same time, you almost have to have that cliffhanger ending,
Yeah,
in order to build up to the Infinity Wars.
it's it's interesting, and I'm interested to see where it's going to go because it just, yeah, given what little I do know about the Civil War timeline and just the nature of the trailer itself, you're kind of like, I don't know how they can cram all this into one movie. I mean, the last Captain America movie clocked in around 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Never felt long, never felt like it was dragging. But definitely, there was a lot happening there. I've got to rewatch that. It was, it wasn't bad. It was thick.
Yeah.
It's
dense.
It's dense. Kind of like a good cake. Anyway, it had a lot going on. And just from the trailer for the new Captain America Civil War movie, you get the sense that there's a lot going on, too. Which is really what has, not too much of a digression here. It's what makes the Marvel movies so good, is that they have a little bit of...
That they actually have some meat on the bone.
They have meat on the bone. And, I love action movies. I love a dumb action film. I am all about, Bloodsport and some good old Dolph Lundgren, Jean-Claude Van Damme, You All to Hell movies where they're punching their way, beating and doing stupid things and stupid dialogue. But
Tango and Cash, I'll watch it all the time.
Yeah, I was going to say, But a lot of the Marvel movies have that kind of weight to them where they aren't just great solid action films. They have something behind them that's a little level deeper, kind of like with I blanked on it. Winter Soldier had a whole thing that an undercurrent of how much surveillance is good and how much is going over the top, and it had a deeper theme there,
which also kind of leads into Civil War.
Which leads into Civil War, which is it's a great as a standalone, and it's a great way to segue into the new film too.
Right, exactly.
It's because it was done in a smart way, and it's hard to do that if you're building a mega franchise where you have this nice blend of standalone, where you can sit and watch that one movie and say that was well done, or watch it in a larger context, which you can do with a lot of the Marvel movies.
And isn't that so comic book?
And isn't that so comic book?
Yes, you could pick up this issue and go, hey, that was a good story, or you could be in the middle of Planet Hulk and go, oh, wow, that really fit into the main story. You know? So that advanced the story.
And I'll be interested to see how this one stands alone. I don't think it's a spoiler either to say there's a lot of speculation that people have, because already, I'm blanking here. Why am I going so blank here? Chris Evans has talked about stepping down from the role.
Well, which would make sense, because after the Civil War, Bucky took over, right?
I think so, but... Again, there are key elements of the Marvel timeline stuff that I don't know. I'm more of a DC fanboy.
Yeah, that's Bucky took over after Civil War.
I was I'm pretty sure Bucky took over after Civil War, so I don't know how much of it they're building up to that. And I don't remember if Chris Evans' contractual obligations, and those are obligations, are just for this film and one more, or if he's going to be, and that means that he's going to be in the new Avengers movie that'll eventually come out, the Infinity War, or
what happened
if he's done after this.
That Bucky took over and became Captain America, but occasionally original Captain America comes back.
Okay.
So you can still have original Captain America with new Captain America, and it all still works according to the comic book storyline.
Okay.
I don't know how they're going to work that with the MCU, but according to the comics, it's something that happens. So.
Okay, yeah, and that should be interesting to see how it plays out. I mean, I prefer that to the old, we kill them off strategy.
Yeah.
To have something where maybe Steve Rogers hangs up his shield or passes on the shield and says, you know what, I can't do this anymore. This isn't the kind of life. I mean, and if you've seen the movies, he is a man out of time. Frozen in ice. He was from the 40s and wakes up, the world's changed around him, and maybe he's just unhappy with the way the world is. And hands it off to Bucky because he's a little bit more, I don't know, in tune with the way the world's changed. and then maybe bring him back for the Infinity War just because he knows he needs to be there and needs to help out.
He needs to show up and help out, yeah.
Yeah. Again, that's kind of speculative on our part, but it'd be a nice way to do it, in our opinion, and a good way to a good way to tie up.
And Chris Evans said that he wants to keep playing Captain America, so it's a nice way to have him in there. You don't have to spend too much on him because you can have him just kind of do cameo work, and he's not the main character. He's not the main Captain America.
Yeah.
He is, old guy Captain America, but
classic Cap, new Cap,
And you don't have to have him in there the whole time, but he still gets to come back and play Cap, and we all get to go, hey, Chris Evans is back.
Yeah. So we'll see how it plays out. Right now, what they've released, it just looks phenomenal. Both phenomenally interested, so to speak.
Yeah.